Hi there and welcome to the newest video in the Made by Jo YouTube channel. My name is Jo, I'm a knitter, sewer and crocheter based in Fife in Scotland, and today we're doing something a little bit different on the channel. I have filmed a video of me making 5 gift knits for this festive season. I know the second half of the year has a lot of festivities for a lot of different people, so I thought I'd put together 5 gift knits that you could potentially make for a friend or loved one for the second half of this year. I myself have made all of these because I wanted to make them for friends, so I have made them over the last month or so and I have filmed the process. I am going to show you at the end how much they cost me in the yarn that I used and also how long exactly they took me. I used the clock app and measured exactly how long it took me. So if you're running close to the time that you want to gift to someone, you can see exactly how long it would take you to make. I wouldn't say I'm a fast knitter, I wouldn't say I'm a particularly slow knitter. I think I just knit at a steady pace, so hopefully it will be relatively similar to the pace that you knit at, and that way it will be helpful for you. You will have had a little sneak peek in the thumbnail of the patterns that I chose, but I will let you know exactly what patterns they are throughout the video, and I will also have them linked down below. Each of these also has a pattern page on Ravelry, so if you want to have a wee look over there, feel free, and it'll give you all the details that you need. So without further ado, grab some knitting, perhaps some gift knitting. Let me know down below what you are making while you watch this video, and let's get right into it. Enjoy! So today's gift that we're going to be starting to look at is the Maxine hot water bottle cover, which is a pattern by Laura Penrose. I bought this pattern a year or so ago, so it is a paid for pattern, but there are plenty of plain hot water bottle covers out there if you wanted to knit one. For me personally, I really like the colour work. I love Laura as a creator, so I wanted to support her, so I paid for the pattern myself. This is a great gift knit for people who get cold in the winter, or if you don't know someone's size or a little bit apprehensive about working on something for someone physically to wear. I think a hot water bottle is a great option. For myself, I'm going to knit it for a friend who I know gets cold all the time, and I think it will be a great gift for her. My plan of action is to try and knit it out of scraps. I do have some balls of main colour upstairs that I could tap into, but what I'm going to do is take out the colours that I think she will like and of my scraps, and then weigh them and see what we get up to. I do have the pattern on my iPad here, so I can check exactly what I need for each colour, and we'll get weighing them up. So I will tilt you down so you can actually see what I am doing, and probably speed this up while I make some decisions, and then I'll come back and show you what colours I have decided on. Okay, so I've looked through my bag of scraps, and you may have seen it's an absolute shambles in there. There is ends left, right and centre. And I've managed to find 3 of the 5 contrast colours I need in terms of what I have meterage and weight wise. So this is going to be my contrast colour 1. You need 12 grams of it, and I'm pretty sure I've got, let me just check while we're doing this. I've got 16, so plenty to do that in contrast colour 1. I then have contrast colour 2, you need 10 grams of that, and I think I've got 13, yeah, I've got 13 grams of this little guy. And then the little tiniest nugget you need is 5 grams, and I'm pretty sure this is 5 grams. Yep, and Laura used a yellow in her pattern, so I'm copying and using a yellow in mine. What are these? This is a mini by Beehive Yarns, and these 2 came from a scrappy swap that I did last year as part of the Crayobea's Scrappy Christmas swap, and I got them, I'm pretty sure that's where I got both of these from, and I'm going to utilise them in this. I like these 2 because I feel like this one has got bright streaks in it, which is similar to this, and yellow is the natural contrast for purple, so I'm happy to use that. The person I'm making it for likes purple, lilac and sage green, so I'm kind of trying to stick to green and purple. I might try and find a sage green in my stash to use as one of the other contrast colours. My only other option is to just do the 3 colour sample, but you need significantly more yarn to do that. You need more of each 3 yarns. So that my aim is to try and do the 6 colour, but I might start working it up, and if I hate the colours I'll maybe change my mind. So I'm going to go upstairs to my craft room and see if I have some green options available, and I will probably just come back here to show you them because the lighting is better. So let me go and do some digging and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We had some success. So what I have decided to do is get rid of that yellow one that I showed you before. So I've still got these two, and then I found a 20-gram skein of lilac yarn that I dyed myself, so I think that that looks really good with these two. And then I was still thinking about the green and the yellow. So the yellow was nice, but it was a bit muted, and then I remembered I have this fingering yellow in my stash, and it just says it's 64 grams. It doesn't say what the composition is, but it's beautiful. So I'm just going to check it is actually 64 grams. 65 grams. So plenty. And actually, if it had been slightly more, I probably could have used it as the main colour. But we're going to use this as one of the contrasts, and I haven't decided which one. And then the final yarn I have is this green. It was the closest I had to sage green, and I've got 20 grams of it. So now I have enough basically to do almost every single one. What I'm going to do is Laura provides a little colouring in sheet, so I think I'm going to colour in with my colours on the colouring in sheet and see what order works best, knowing that I have the smallest amount of these two. So this is my colour palette, and then the main colour, I had a look in my stash and I couldn't find any scraps that were big enough, because you do need 70 grams, I think. Yeah, you do need 70 grams, and I don't have anything that's 70 grams that's like not a brand new skein, and I didn't really, even of my brand new skeins, have a main colour that was plain enough. So I am going to dip into my stash of yarn that I bought to hand dye, because I will have an 100-gram skein in there that's undyed, and I think just an undyed wool is probably my best option. I do have, I think most of these are sock yarns, so I think I'll probably just pick a sock yarn base that I've got in the shed, rather than, I've got some BFL in the shed, but I think I'll keep that. So I'm going to go and double check I've got a fingering weight skein, and then I will wind up the bits I've got to wind up and do my colouring in, and then I will I will show you once I've coloured in, and then maybe once I get started. So I'm excited, I'm looking forward to seeing how this works up. Okay, so I just spent an inordinate amount of time doodling, but I have made a mock-up, oh wait, there you go, now you can see it, of what mine's going to look like. The colours aren't perfectly what I'm going to have. I think these colours are a bit brighter than the colours I'm going to have, but I really like the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead with the colours I've chosen, and I need to go and get a main colour. I haven't got it out of the shed yet. So I have doodled, I'm going to hit done so I don't mess that up, and this is my plan. It's my intention to let you know how long it takes me, so I'm not going to swatch for this, I'm just going to knit and see how I get on, and I'm also going to have a look for a water bottle and get that sent to me so I can try it as I go. But that is my plan. I've got all of my yarns, have I got them all? Yeah, all my yarns in a little bag. I'm just going to keep them together until the water bottle arrives, and I'll see you then for cast on. About 3 hours and 20 minutes according to my timer. I have paused it and stuff when I've stopped for lunch and that sort of thing. But this is how far I have gotten. I'm pretty much just over halfway, which I think looks pretty good. The lighting is a bit terrible because it's getting dark outside, but that is what we are looking like, and I'm really enjoying it actually. I think it looks really pretty, and I'm pretty happy with the contrast. The only one is that there is actually 2 contrasting yarns in this little diamond, and I don't really think you can see that. but this repeat is using that contrast colour up here, so I think it'll be fine. Considering I'm a little over halfway, I think that I'm going to be just short. I think, let's get this label at the back. I think by the time like I'm supposed to have done all the decreases, like we're going to be short on my water bottle, which is probably due to my roll gauge, so I might need to just do some stretching. But it does seem to have a fair amount of upward stretch, and I'm not tight on like the widthways, so I won't need to block it widthways, so hopefully I'll be able to block it up. But personally I think it's looking really good for 3 hours work, and I'm gonna see if I feel like doing this tonight or work on something else. We're just making dinner just now, but this hand is a little bit sore like along the top here, and I don't know if it's from the colour work or whatever, but so I'm going to stop for now, give my hands a break while we cook dinner and then eat dinner, and then after that, if I want to pick this up, I will obviously film a little bit of it to show you. But we are just over halfway just now, which is pretty good I think for, so it's looking like a realistically a weekend project, if you're like, if you were desperate to get it done. But I'll give you the full stats and everything, including how much it costs and everything like that, once it's finished. But I'm pretty pleased with it, it's looking good so far. Hot water bottle cover. It took me, now I've got notes just down there, so if I look down that's why, it took me 8 hours 14 minutes and 23 seconds to do, so 8 hours and 15 minutes probably, and that's approximate. Obviously there's sometimes that it takes me a little bit and I forget to turn off the timer or forget to turn it on, but that is very much approximately how long it took me to do. And I've also broken down the cost, but I will just show you it first. This is my Maxine finished hot water bottle cover, and I think it looks amazing. Cost wise, it cost me £3.25 for the actual hot water bottle, and I bought that in Asda, which is a supermarket here in the UK. Then the main colour that I used is actually a yarn that I bought to dye with, so I got it from a company called Yarn Undyed. It's a 75/25 superwash merino, and for 100 grams it costs £6.26 for this yarn. I've then worked out that for the 70 grams needed for this project it cost £4.38. And then what I have done for all of these hand-dyed scraps, because these are from previous projects or yarn swaps, I have just used the average cost of a hand-dyed skein. So for me, I used Cookstone Crafts, which is an Aberdeen-based dyer that I love. She charges £20 for a 75/25 hand-dyed yarn. So I worked out that for the 45 grams that you need of scraps to do this project, that would cost about £9 if you were to buy it new. So that means that the total cost of this project is £17.10 if you want to buy all of the things new to make it. But for me it costs £3.25 purchased right now because the rest of the yarn was in stash already. So for £3.25 I think it's an amazing gift for a friend. The knit was super quick and enjoyable. So would I recommend this gift knit? I think so, 100%. The colour work was fun and engaging and enjoyable. The actual shaping was really interesting and didn't take very long. So like I said, this took me just over 8 hours to do, so a weekend's worth of work. Particularly this weekend I haven't been very well, so it's been a lot of sitting on the sofa and knitting. So this was really good to keep my mind off it. The colour work wasn't too complicated, so it was enjoyable without being stressful. And then seeing it like grow and being able to put it on the water bottle at the end is phenomenal. I also think this is a great gift knit because you don't have to worry about sizing. You're not trying to size a pair of socks to someone's feet without them noticing, or trying to work out what size head they have, etc. And it's really good for countries like the UK where it gets really cold over the autumn winter, and a hot water bottle is incredibly helpful to have. I think this is a great gift. I would definitely recommend it. and let's move on to the next gift. Okay, the next gift knitting pattern is a pair of mittens. I have a pair of mittens that I knit myself last year and I really enjoy them. The mittens I've decided to do in today's video are the World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knits. I've chosen this pattern because I think it's really straightforward. I have knitted it before and it's a free pattern. It covers many sizes from child all the way to adult large, and it also does multiple different yarn gauges, so you can use something in your stash that works. The previous pair of mittens that I knit were in chunky weight, and I don't have that much chunky weight yarn in my stash, so I've decided to go with a different set of stash yarn, and I have chosen a fingering weight and a suri silk to pair together. This pairing I have used in a previous pattern. I knit the Care Sweater as part of the Creabea's test a couple of years ago now, so I'll insert the photo, and I use these as my contrast colour so I know they work together. I also swatched this last night and I got gauge, which was great, and it makes a really nice taupey brown colour. The person that I'm knitting these for is a very classy, likes very neutral colours type person. Which is very unusual for me because I'm a bright person, so trying to find something in stash that would work was a little bit tricky, but I've had this in stash, like I say, for 2 years, so happy to use it up. This is Nervous Fibres Merino Sock in the colour Brittle Gill, and it's like a plain beige and it's got some pops, some speckles of blue and red in there. And then this is her Suri Silk in the colour Shore. And this was actually, Charlotte helped me pick this out because she thought these would make a good combination, and they do once they are knit together, although they look quite different when they're next to each other in these skeins. So like I said, I'm going to be knitting the World's Simplest Mittens. The only thing is that I don't quite know if I've got enough yarn to knit up the pattern because I've only done it in chunky weight before. I'm not quite sure how much it's going to take. So what I'm planning on doing is provisionally casting on at the bottom of the hand and knitting both hands before going back to knit the ribbing for the wrist. This is a free pattern, so I'm happy to talk about it, but it's usually knit from the wrist up. So I'm just going to start from the hand and work that for both sides, and then I will use exactly half of whatever I've got left to make the ribbed cuffs. I do also have the option to add a little contrast pop of colour on the bottom of the wrist in another neutral colour if I've got one in my stash. I know I've got some brown somewhere, for example, to make it a little bit longer if I do think they're on the short side if I run out of yarn. But that's my intention, so I am going to go and provisionally cast on for the first mitten, and I will show you probably once I am a significant way up the hand. Okay, so we've made some progress with these mittens. I know I said I would film little clippets and I haven't filmed any clips so far because I just cast these on while we were watching a movie and they've absolutely flown by. So I'm still keeping them in this little sheet bag, but I have got the full hand knit of one mitten and I am on to the second one. So get the yarn out of the way. I did do a provisional cast on. I did a crochet provisional cast on at the bottom. It was the first time or the second time I've done this, so I did have to watch a video on it again, and it took me 2 or 3 tries to get it right because originally I was trying to do it on magic loop and I'm just not very good at magic loop. It's not something I do very often. I like small circulars, so it just wasn't working. It wasn't looking neat, so I had to rip it out and do it a couple times. But now that I'm on a small circular, these are going so quickly. So this is again the World's Simplest Mittens, and this is the one that I have already finished, or like finished the hand. So the reason I provisional cast on instead of just casting on the ribbing is because when I made my own mittens, I noticed that where the ribbing starts is like right at your wrist, which is fine. But for me, in my chunky mittens, it always feels like they're slightly too small because it makes me want to pull down on them, and then that pulls like the top bit against the top of my finger. So I'm glad I provisional cast on because now I'm going to do like another centimetre of stockinette before I do the ribbing. But obviously right now I am leaving it like this with the thumb undone, and then I'm going to knit. I'm knitting the second one. So I think I'll be done this evening because it's not going to take me very long to do. I'll just put this one on as well, this little nugget. I'm already at the knuckles, so I've just got about that to do, and then I'm gonna do the decreases. So I think I'll be done this evening. And then I'm gonna next do the 2 thumbs, and then I will see how much yarn I've got left and probably split it into 2 balls so I know exactly what I've got for each hand, and just knit until it's run out. At the moment I've got plenty of the main colour, which is fab, and the suri is getting smaller, but it's not too small. And like I said before, I've got a whole other skein of the suri that I can wind up should I need to, but I am trying to use this if I can. So I've still got plenty of yarn left, considering I've already knit a glove and a half essentially. So I'm really pleased, or not a glove and a half, you know what I mean. I've knit quite a lot and I've still got quite a lot left. I don't know if you can see this, but I quite like the colour that it's come out. It's like goldeny beige with like pinky beige mixed together, and I do think that it's quite a cool effect, and I like it. I think it's great for a neutral girly. It feels super duper luxe because it's got that suri silk in it, and I think that I'm going to write little tags with these gifts that sort of say how to look after them and what the contents is, sorry. So I think once the recipient reads that it's like merino, suri and silk, they're going to think it's really posh, and it is quite posh for a gift. So I'm really pleased with how these are looking. I think I'm just going to knit this one up tonight and hopefully finish the fingers, and then I might film a little bit of the thumbs, but maybe I'll just come back and show you once I have worked out how much yarn I've got left. But yeah, these aren't taking long at all. I don't know how long I've worked on them, if I'm honest. I've not looked at the timer, but I would approximate about 3.5 hours probably, maybe 4, that I've worked on these so far, and they're absolutely flying. So another good gift knit, but I will be back once I have made more progress. It's been a week or so since you last heard from me, and I was knitting the gift mittens, and I have finished them. I actually finished these within 2 days of starting them, but I just haven't filmed because I've been super busy. But these are my finished pair of mittens. Yay! Sup it mum. I was really pleasantly surprised at how much yarn I had, and therefore how long I could make these, because I was worried that I wasn't going to make them very long because of the amount of suri I had left, but I managed to make them super duper long, so they cover my watch, which is what my aim was, because I want these to kind of go, and then your sleeves to be able to go over them of a coat in the winter time. So that's what I've managed to do. These are really nice, and they were really super simple to knit, and I think they look really gorgeous and high-end, if I'm honest. I knit these in hand-dyed merino and hand-dyed suri silk, which I'm pretty sure I've already told you, so I won't waste your time by going through that. But what I will do is go through, oh, apologies if you heard my dog. What I will do is go through the stats for these. So this is all I had left of my yarn. This didn't even register on my scale, so less than a gram. But I used in total, let me get them up on my iPad. I used in total 34 grams of fingering weight merino held single and 23 grams of suri silk. And I had hand-dyed scraps that I was using. So again, working out how much these were, I just took the average cost of an 100 gram skein for hand-dyed suri and hand-dyed merino, and I worked out what the cost would be for exactly what I used. So again, I used £20 for 100 grams of hand-dyed merino, which meant that I used £6.80 worth. And then suri silk is slightly more expensive for the yardage, so it's £21 per 300 metres in this case, and that means that it was £9.66 for what I used, making the total cost for these pair of handmade mittens £16.46, so just cheaper than the hot water bottle. And again, these cost me nothing because I had all of the yarn in stash and I just knit them up. In total, time-wise, these took slightly longer than the hot water bottle actually. They took 9 hours and 47 minutes. So compare that to the 8 hours and 14 minutes. So it's an extra hour and a half that these took me over the hot water bottle cover, which is interesting. I thought these would be quicker, but that I was watching TV and stuff. The thing about this in comparison to the hot water bottle is this is really easy to do when you're watching a movie or spending time with people, because it's stockinette in the round, all of it's stockinette in the round, or ribbing for the cuff, so you really don't have to pay attention at all, whereas the hot water bottle cover you're obviously paying attention to the pattern. So pros and cons to each, but I really think these are going to be glorious for my friend who is a very neutral girly, and I think this will feel really luxe for someone to receive as a gift this year. So super happy with these, and on to the next gift knit, and I don't even know what that's going to be, so future Joe, take it away. Evening, you're joining me for the next segment of the gift knitting series, and today we're doing something that truly is really festive. Everything else up until now has kind of been winter appropriate, but this is a festive gift knit. So if you don't like Christmas, don't celebrate Christmas, that's absolutely fine, but this one is a Christmas related gift. So I'm going to be knitting the Christmas stocking by Petite Knit. I've looked at a bunch of other Christmas stockings, and there is some really lovely Christmas stockings out there that are free patterns, but I really loved the felted aspect of this. I've been watching Two Pearls in a Pod, and Sarah has been making felted slippers, and so the felting process, which never really seemed that interesting to me, really started to take my fancy. And then I was buying some yarn from Drops, and I thought, well, I'll just treat myself to some felting appropriate yarn while I'm at it, and knit some stockings. So this gift is for a family member that I think will really appreciate this. So I'm going to make 2 felted stockings for their Christmas present. Anyone that is unfamiliar, a Christmas stocking is basically a giant sock that in the UK you fill with gifts. In some other countries you put things like satsumas and oranges in them, but I think it'll be a great decor piece, but also a lovely place for these people to put some gifts in at Christmas time. So I have purchased some yarn in a red and also a green, and the green is what I have to show you today. So this has actually been taped together so it's not even the right name, but this is Drops Alaska, and this is the colour 74. I appreciate I always sit next to the window because it's messy over here, but it's like a foresty green colour. Just put you back. And this is 100% wool, and it also is, oh you're shaking now as well, sorry, it's also suitable for felting. So this was given as an alternative option for the felted slippers that Sarah made that I saw, so I purchased this because it was £1.60 a ball or something, and you needed about 6 of them, so I've purchased this and I'm going to give it a go. I was originally just going to start and show you a great update and be like, look, I've cast it on, it's great. But I cast this on with the recommended needle size. Can you see the green? Yeah. So I cast this on with the recommended needle size and started working in stockinette when we were watching a movie at the weekend, and unfortunately after checking my gauge I am off gauge, and originally I was thinking, oh, I'm only 1 stitch out, so I'm just going to leave it, but I've actually measured like the width of this and it is significantly shorter than what it's meant to be, and the felting process will shrink everything up. So according to the pattern you'll lose like a certain amount, and if I lost that certain amount this would be too small for what I want it to be. So sadly I'm going to have to rip this back, but the positive is I have an evening meeting tonight, so I am either going to work on this or I'm going to work on my rainbow jumper, which is one of my other whips. But I think it's great meeting knitting, and I do have a very busy meeting day tomorrow, so even if I don't work on it tonight I might work on it tomorrow and see how much I can get done. Maybe I'll add that in as well, because I think I've got 4 meetings tomorrow, and the good thing about mindless stockinette is I don't even have to look, so I can concentrate on what I'm doing work wise but just have my hands going as well. So this is my next project, the Christmas stocking. I'm going to rip this back and then get ready to cast it on, and as usual I will follow up with how long and how much it cost me. But this is our next knitted project. So I've just put my stocking in the washing machine to felt it, and we'll see how it gets on I can't believe it really didn't take me that long. It was like knitting a giant sock. So it's in the washing machine now, and I will show you what it looks like when it comes out. We've got 30 minutes to wait. Okay, welcome to my kitchen floor. The washing machine is just finished, and I'm well, I think it's safe to say it's definitely felted. I've never felted anything in my life, so oh, it smells sheepy. Right, well, it's definitely smaller than it was. I'm gonna check the measurements. Okay, so it's not as small in that. It's not as small in that, and it's not as small as that, so it can get smaller. So this is what we're looking like, partially felted. Sorry, the lighting is terrible because we're on the floor. So you can see that there, partially felted. It's definitely felting, but it's got somewhere to go. So the wash I just had it on was a 40°, and the shortest 40° wash I can do is 38 minutes. So I think I do it again. If it felted that much the first time, I think I'm gonna try it again. And I'm just gonna leave it in with the stuff that I've got in there just now. So we're going for a second one. Let's see how much it shrinks in the next one. Okay. Quick wash, 40°, 38 minutes. Let's go. Okay, second segment of joining Jo on her kitchen floor. Oh, Albie's now joining us. And I've done the second felting, and it's done! It looks so good! In my opinion, the lighting is much better over here. Hopefully you can see that. It's obviously like not really a knit anymore. It's beautifully felted. I've tried to flatten it out on the floor so that it's like holding its lovely shape, but this took two lots of washing, so two 40-minute cycles at 40° made it felted to the right size. So now I've just got to leave this to dry, and then we'll attach some sort of handle, and I'll decide if I want to embroider on it later. But this is it officially felted and done. I've not included I'm not going to include the drying time. I might include the felting time in my final numbers, but I will let you know once I skip to the end where I show you the finished piece. So that is me finished knitting my felted stocking, and I'll be moving on to my next gift knit. Since we last spoke. It is just past 5 o'clock on Monday, September 23rd, so it's been a wee while, and I have finished a project, and I have a new project to show you. So I don't think that I have spoken to you at all about this one, so I'm going to start at the very beginning. One of my gift knits was a headband. The person that I am making this for had seen someone else in a traditional headband with some colour work and had said how much they loved it, and I thought I could knit a colour work headband, and that's sort of where the idea came from. So I decided to look up on Ravelry and see what I could find. Now I just wanted, it's like a basic thick headband that would keep you cosy and cover your ears. And I didn't really want to pay for the pattern, and I only didn't want to pay for the pattern because I already had the colour work that I wanted to use in mind. And so I decided to find a free pattern on Ravelry and then use those numbers and do a little bit of tweaking to fit in a colour work chart that I already had from a previous pattern. And this is what I have ended up with. Now, for those of you that are eagle-eyed, you might recognise the colour work. This is, oh, you can see the end sticking up. Maybe I'll hold it that way. This is the colour work from the Care sweater. You can see how messy my whip station is over there. This is the colour work from the Care sweater by Rebecca Clow, and I actually tested the Care sweater a couple of years ago now, and I've always loved the colour work, and I just thought it would make the perfect traditional headband. So that is what I have done. Now this didn't take me very long at all. Bear with, the information is all on the iPad. You can also see one of my hot water bottles in the back there because I was cold earlier. So, there we are. I knit this headband in stash yarn. So the dark blue is Drops Lima from a pattern I did quite a while ago. Now, Lima comes in 50-gram balls, and for a 50-gram ball it's £2.40 at the moment on Wool Warehouse. I used, in the dark blue colour, 22 grams total, so approximately £1.05 worth of yarn. And then the second yarn I used was Stylecraft ReCreate, which I have over here. It's a lot of me moving around this episode, sorry. Here we go. You're just staring at me moving around. Stylecraft ReCreate, which is a recycled blend yarn. So it is 40% wool, 30% acrylic and 30% polyester, and then in brackets it says all recycled. So I believe all of the contents is recycled, and it's in this beautiful heathered light blue colour, and I bought this a long time ago. So that is the light blue that's in here, and it is £6 for 100 grams of this yarn, and I used 23 grams, which is interesting because I actually used more of the light blue than I did of the dark blue, which doesn't really make much sense. But that means that it works out at £1.38 for the total yarn that I used. So that means that this project cost me £2.43 approximately, and that is all from stash. So it didn't actually cost me anything more to make than what I had already previously paid. So as you can see, the ribbing is curling up, so I am going to pin it to block it. I could actually try it on for you because I'm going to wash it anyway, so the person won't get it with my hairs in it. But this is what it looks like on, and I think it is super cute. The colour work doesn't stretch out too much, which is what I was worried about. It covers the ears perfectly and keeps them cosy, and because both of the yarns have wool content, it will be warm in the winter time. Originally I was going to sew some fleece in to make it a fleece lined headband, but I've decided against that now because it fits quite well. And my mum, who's got an even smaller head than me, tried it on and said that it fit her as well, because the person I made it for said they have a relatively small head. So I am guessing that this will hopefully fit them as well. But I think it looks really good, and I'm really pleased overall with this headband. Did I write down how long it took me in my iPad? Yes. This knit took 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I did it in sort of 2 sittings. I did the first half and then I stopped for the evening. The next evening did the second half. So 2 evenings worth, just under 3.5 hours. Definitely a really quick gift knit, and one I think that lots of people will appreciate in the winter time. So I would say that that is a pretty darn good gift knit, and I'm looking forward to gifting that this year. Hello, so you're joining me on holiday in Italy. Can I get it to show you? Ta-da! We've been here for about, oh my gosh, a week. We go home tomorrow, but I wanted to knit one of my little Christmas gifts while I'm out here. It's only going to take me about an hour. Today, as you can tell, I'm wearing a fleece. It's cold, so I am going to sit on our little patio and knit a little tiny Christmas jumper ornament, which is our final gift for this video. So I hope you don't mind that I'm abroad, and let's get it. So I have just got back from Italy last night and I realised I never filmed an outro for this video, so it feels a bit crazy to me. I've been filming this video for about 3 months, so all of the clips are so different and over such a long period of time, but thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, I really hope you have, and found some inspiration perhaps for a gift knit for this season. I am going to rate these, I think. Actually, I don't know, because they're really difficult to rate because they're all so different. I guess I love them all for separate reasons, and I think I'll just run through exactly why. So I've got my 2 hot water bottle covers, the mini and the big one. I love these. They were really interactive, really enjoyable, and I think these are a great gift because you don't have to worry about size at all, because it's an accessory for the home. So all you have to do is know either the colours that the person you're making it for would like, or do something seasonal like I did with this Christmas one. And yeah, really good. I made these entirely out of scraps, like I said, and just had to pay for the water bottle itself. So really not too expensive as a gift, and I think someone's really going to appreciate these. So I would really recommend the Maxine Hot Water Bottle by Laura Penrose. The other home accessory that I did was the Christmas stocking. I have left the G on it for now. Again, I might take it out closer to the time. I haven't decided yet. I'm just leaving it like this for now. But I love this stocking. It was so easy to do because it's in a really big gauge and on 6mm needles. It knit up so quickly. I loved trying the felting process, and now it feels like a really sturdy, like long-lasting gift for someone that they can use in their home. So I would really recommend this if you know someone really loves Christmas time and you, again, kind of know what colours they use at Christmas. My parents use really traditional colours, so that's why I could get away with green, and I'm going to make a red one. But yeah, this Christmas stocking, huge fan. And again, super easy to do and really didn't take very long. And then the final home accessory is these little tiny Christmas jumpers. The last one that I did, and let me show you. I have made 4 of these bad boys. See if I can get them all on my fingers. So I've made 4 so far. Obviously I've decorated this one and the rest I've just left plain for now. I think I'm going, well, I know I'm going to be making one of these for each of my colleagues at work because they take me an hour, what was it, an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and a half to do one. So really super easy to make for my colleagues, and again, don't need to worry about size or anything like that. For some people I might duplicate stitch their initial on it. For some people I might do a Christmas decoration, like the Christmas tree that I just showed you, or a star or something. But I just think they're so cute. The thing about this one is I didn't use a pattern, I just did it randomly. There is lots of patterns on Ravelry if you want to follow a pattern. There are some paid and there are some free ones. I looked up a free one at the very beginning of trying this, and since I've just kind of made it up. When I was in Italy I just made it up because I didn't have access to the internet to look it up. But if you have a basic understanding of construction for jumpers, if you've knit a jumper before, you can really easily, sorry the lighting is not doing justice, you can really easily make a teeny tiny version of the jumpers that you knit. So these are perfect for kids, for colleagues, people that, this sounds really bad, but people that you probably wouldn't knit a big thing for, but want to give them something small. It only takes an hour. It's a really good scrap buster. They're super cute to make, to be honest, and so yeah, really, really good gift, I think, scrap busting gift. I'm also going to make a bunch of these for my own Christmas tree because I think they're adorable, and I would love to have a little mini jumper section on my tree, or maybe make a garland or something for one of the other rooms in my house. So huge fan. And then we have the wearables. These ones you do kind of need to know roughly the person that you're making them for, or the size. I've still not blocked this one, as you can see. But this headband, again, free pattern, made it up really, and just used scrap yarn. I think it's really pretty, and someone's really going to appreciate it. And I just guessed on the size of their head based on the size of my own head, so hopefully it fits them. But this is actually not going to be a Christmas gift, it's going to be a farewell gift. She's leaving our organisation, so I'm not getting her for Christmas, I'm giving it to her for leaving, and I think she'll really appreciate it as a nice little send off for her. So really pleased with this one. Again, I mean, I'm just repeating myself. Didn't take very long, only used scrap yarn because that was kind of the goal for this video, but hopefully it gives you some inspiration if you perhaps wouldn't want to knit someone a hat but would knit them a headband, because it really didn't take that long. And then the fifth and final one, which I know I didn't do these in order, is these glorious mittens. Anyone that follows Laura Penrose on social media will have seen that she has been doing fingerless mittens for her kids' teachers. Her kids' parents. Her kids' teachers. They take no time at all. They work up in scrap yarn. This is essentially the same thing, except I just used the free mitten pattern. I know Laura is potentially coming out with a fingerless mitten pattern, so if that is more interesting to you, then please feel free, obviously, to sub that in. But again, took no time at all. I think it's a really good gift. This one, size is not so much of an issue. I made these for a woman, so I've just used my own hands, but perhaps just give a little look at their hands and see if they have massive hands or not in advance. But I really like them. Clean, classic, and super easy for a knitter to make. So all in all, I'm really proud of all of the gift knits that I've made so far. I'm also incredibly thankful to Past Jo for starting these. I think it was September that I started these, because it's now the end of October and it feels like Christmas is right around the corner now, because I have been away on holiday and I've just come back and sort of that's the end of summer for me. I am super busy. I've got loads of knitting that I want to get done, but I am really pleased with all of those gift knits, and I have a few more that I want to do separate to this video, repeats of what I've already done, so I didn't want to share them with you to bore you. But again, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some inspiration or just had a nice little watch while you were knitting on something this wintry, autumny season. It's freezing here. The lighting is getting terrible because the sun is coming in and out of clouds, so apologies if that is distracting. But I am off to spend my day. This is my day off before I go back to work after my holiday, so we've got lots of washing to do. I'm gonna edit this video and hopefully get it out tonight. And yeah, I wish you a happy rest of October. I hope your Halloween or autumn knitting is going well, and perhaps some Christmas gift knitting too. I would love to see what you have been knitting during this video, or if you're going to knit any of the gifts that I showed you throughout. So please do let me know in the comments below if you knit any of these things and who you've made them for and how you found it, because I would love to know. I am gonna go because my brain is mush and very tired, and I will speak to you soon in the next video, which will likely be a podcast. Speak to you guys then. Bye.